coffee maker is what everyone needs for their garage. It's arguably one of the most important tools you can actually have in your garage. In case it's like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. and you need some coffee. But what is going on, guys? We are back with a video. It's basically been a couple weeks since I've filmed anything. And it was necessary. I'm sorry to let you guys down on not posting videos every single week, but sometimes a gap in videos is necessary to create better videos in the future, if you know what I'm saying. But it is happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Thanksgiving Day often marks the changing of seasons for me, where post-Thanksgiving we're full on ice fishing, and pre-Thanksgiving still fall fishing in a boat. The swap out has happened. The Warrior is now out of the garage and is, at this exact moment, I think just listed for sale, which I can go ahead and link below too. Phenomenal boat, obviously, you guys know everything like that, but I'll link that down below for anybody interested in maybe purchasing the most badass walleye boat ever made. But we're working our way into ice fishing, and I always do kind of one of these videos where I basically go through some stuff, looking forward to ice. Obviously this year we don't have any it's funny, like a lot of times I can find fishable ice before Thanksgiving. Very difficult in the States anyways to find fishable ice. Currently, we had a little bit warmer than average fall, but winter is coming. Rest assured on that. And I'm getting excited as I've been cooped up in this garage all day long, getting stuff ready, rigging things, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, always do one of these kind of videos where I do a little bit of a walkthrough on maybe some of the new stuff, things of that nature. And stay tuned to maybe the midpoint of this video, because we have a very exciting announcement, which I'm very, very excited about. The contents of this box and bringing something to you guys that I'm super excited about. So stay tuned for that. But where do we start? Basically all day long, I've been rigging graphs, and we always get a lot of questions on graphs, on the ice, open water, everything. So a lot of times I like to kind of start there. There's two graphs I predominantly run on the ice. One is this unit right here. This is my forward-facing ice fishing combo, right? We all know how valuable forward-facing is. Ice fishing for walleyes, no different than open water. It cuts down the number of holes you can drill. It's some unbelievably exciting content to watch. Hopefully you guys enjoy that part. But this is the bread and butter unit that comes with me everywhere I go on the ice. The Humminbird Helix 9 unit. Now, this is decked out for this kind of run and gun style of hole hopping, scanning type of fishing that I like. This is pretty much straight how they come. If you buy this same unit, it has all my mapping on it, all my waypoints on it. All of that kind of stuff gives me the ability to obviously film in forward mode, which I do a lot when I'm scanning areas, maybe looking for bass and crappies, maybe looking for walleyes on a deep water flat. Also, simply flip it to down, and then you get that cool down view shot where if you and your buddies are sitting in a shack, you watch all those fish come up and eat. Very valuable tool right here. And I don't really change a lot of this kind of stuff. You know, you guys might think I have all these crazy tweaks on a lot of things, but for the most part, I don't. So obviously that's one unit. Now, obviously, what's the downfall of all these forward-facing style units that are designed for ice? To hole hop with them, a lot of times, you know, where do you put your rod? There's a rod holder on the graph, obviously, but obviously then you're tromping around like this, you know, carrying this, this, and that, and 3 other things, plus a camera, plus just trying to hold it all together because it's winter, you know. And that's where a lot of times I'll switch gears to a little bit more of the other style of graph, which I run a lot, which would be like a Helix 7 ice bundle, which that unit I'm piecing one together right now. Obviously the standard Helix screen on there, and it gives you all that kind of down view stuff. Sonar, you can use the sonar or just the regular flasher stuff, which you want to mount. And I'm about to mount this on the Helix 7 ice shuttle. So that's kind of what I use for all that. All the video footage you guys will see of my flasher content, sonar content, that'll come off the Helix 7 ice bundle, which is slowly getting pieced together over here. But we got tired of putting nuts and bolts together, so we had to kind of film something. But we always get a lot of questions on graphs, so that's kind of what we'll be doing there, graph-wise. Now, the exciting stuff to me a lot of times, rods, baits, things of that nature. And yeah, I guess maybe we'll break down like kind of my 3 favorite rods that I'm super excited about this year. Not even just like this year alone, but just like the bread and butter pieces of equipment that I lean on every ice season. Obviously, predominantly a walleye fisherman. There's 3 rods that come with me everywhere I'm gonna go this winter. A couple of those you guys have seen. One is a brand new one for this year. So we'll start with that one. Now, you guys know how much I love the Elliott stuff. This is the brand new Elliott Rods dead sticks rod. And I think they're going to call it a dead stick rod. It might be called what? It might just be called the model number. It's a 34 medium moderate. So it's a 34-inch rod. Now, dead sticking has an archaic way to catch a fish. However, it's got it's made a lot of steps forward to be a more advanced way to fish over the course of the last couple of years, I would say. And a lot of that has to do with some of these custom rods. Now, a lot of you guys might be used to dead sticking with a bobber. I remember the first time I ice fished, it was a bobber. This is a shout out to some of the, how many of you guys remember reeling in fish when you started ice fishing? You'd find the depth that you caught a fish at, and then you didn't want to reel because you didn't want to mess up the depth. This is before I ever had a flasher. So you do this little number. We'd grab the line and then wrap the line like that. So then you just kind of land the fish like that without reeling, and then you'd let it all back down. So dead stick has come a long ways. I don't like using a bobber. I like fishing a rod like this, 34 medium moderate. Now, the key to this, bright tip number one. Number two, I'll rig this up, smaller 1,000 size is a Pissy Fun 1,000 size or 500 size reel, and I'll generally back the drag off a little bit, but the key is 6-pound fluoro, light sinker hook, but a very flexible soft tip that leads into a lot of backbone. Crucial when you're dead sticking to have that. Basically, I'll take this, I'll put it in here or a rod holder that's mounted in my shack, and you'll watch that tip go almost just like this every time a walleye bites. You'll watch that tip go thump, and then it's going to do this little number right here, and it'll sit like this for quite a while actually, and the fish can't feel the tension that much because this is a very soft tip. And then a lot of times what happens is they'll get to a point where all of a sudden they're starting to load the rod, and then they're like, damn it, I'm hooked, right? Or you could just pick up the rod and set the hook at that point. But having a rod with a strike indicator on it like this goes a long way for dead sticking. So I'm very excited about this rod in the lineup. I've previously used the 2B dead stick rod before, and obviously the Elliott rod can only be even better than the 2B probably. So excited about that. And the other two rods I lean on all winter long. One is a 44 light. This is like my favorite light spoon rod that I'll fish a lot. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, 44 is a long ice rod. Until you fish with a 44-inch rod, you just have no idea what you're missing. It is the best way to ice fish, man, especially if you're a run and gun hole hop guy with me. This is my favorite spoon rod to fish, where I'll be fishing a lot of my lighter flutter spoons on, a lot of my favorite rattle spoons on, things of that nature. When I beef up a little bit, then I'll go to the 44 or 42 medium. Generally, I'll put braid on that, and that's where I'm fishing my bigger baits, like my hyper rattles, hyper glides, all those kind of baits like that. This rod, a lot faster, a lot stiffer, designed to work big, heavy baits more. So those are kind of my go-to rods for basically, you guys will be seeing me walleye fish all winter. There's probably a few more I'll be fishing in there, but those are my workhorse rods that I love fishing. How do you store those long rods? These guys right here. This is what you're going to want if you're a long rod fisherman. This is the Elliott or 2B Ice rod bags designed to fit these long rods in there. And I actually mount these to my snowmobile in a removable fashion so that when I'm getting ready to go for the day, I'll just come right over here. I'll grab the couple of rods I need, 3-4 rods, and I'll run them down in this gearbox, and the whole thing zits up real nice and neat to fit your longer 40+ inch ice rods in, because I know rod storage is an issue for a lot of people. And then I'll put it on my tackle right in these little guys right here. So it keeps it super simple while you're out there. It keeps the rod safe. Now, talking about mounting things to snowmobile, I did purchase a new toy, which I was very excited about. Garage is kind of a disaster right now because we're in that mode where we are just kind of getting things ready. I did buy a new skidoo, and I'm contemplating right now on exactly how I want to rig this. If I just want one box and then another box in the shack, or if I want to put 2 boxes on the back of here. I'm very excited to have. Basically, the only reason I buy new things is because I'm so scared of breaking down. I'm not the most mechanically savvy type of guy on the ice, and with how fancy all the new snowmobiles are getting, I'm even less savvy than you might be with a 10 or 15-year-old sled a lot of times. But I just enjoyed not breaking down because I've broken down so many times on the ice and other places. But I did add a graph already. We got a few other adjustments which we have to make on here. I used to be a guy who was like, man, let's put a 10-inch graph on a snowmobile. Wouldn't that be sick? All it does is drain your battery faster. All it really has to do is hold the waypoints and give me a sonar as well. So this is kind of, if you guys watch a lot of my ice fishing content, you know how much I love like running and gunning. My favorite day on the ice is where I can fish off the back of this snowmobile all day long, running from this spot to this spot to this spot and fishing aggressively for walleyes. It's my favorite thing to do. And I did something which I have not previously done before. These have a nice convenient glove box in which I can store my transducer in. So basically I can just get to where I'm gonna fish, pull my deucer out and just be fishing just like this. So I don't have to grab something out of the box, or I don't have to set things up. I can just be extremely mobile. And that is what I try to do every time I set something up for ice fishing. It's the same reason I try to put all these bigger boxes on the back and things of that nature, is that so I can basically keep all my gear with me. I don't even have to bring a shack or a sled to haul the rest of it. Get to where you're gonna go, flip this open, grab what I need, and basically be fishing immediately, right? Sitting just like this. So, excited about this setup. Have a lot of tinkering to do as nothing's like permanently mounted on here yet. But that's kind of the deal there. Now, this is what I really want to talk about because I'm excited about this and a lot of work went into this. So maybe we'll head upstairs to the office and break down what's in this box. All right, we are in the office, and this box, as I said, I'm super excited about. So let's just not do like a big mess around here. Let's just get right into it. We're gonna cut this open. Obviously it says Fish USA on it. Now, over the course of the summer, we did this cool thing where I think we did one in spring, and I think we did one in summer, where I kind of took some of my favorite baits, put them in a box, wanted to get you guys the best deal we could get on some of them, kind of packaged for that time of year. And you guys absolutely loved it. And we kind of wanted to do it even bigger this time. Get you more of the stuff I like, get you a better discount on everything. And that's really what we tried to do on this package. And I was super excited that I could be a part of it, to be honest with you. But we'll cut this open here and cut right to the chase. And of course, I'll go ahead and make sure to link this down in the description below. But let's get right into it here. We have a pile of baits and tackle in here. Now, like I said, we've done a few of these through other seasons. They were a big hit, so wanted to do it even bigger to bring you guys more of a value. So we're gonna kind of go through this. Now, the whole goal whenever I do one of these things is to bring you guys more baits that catch fish at a good value. And that's really what we tried to do here. So I'm just gonna pull out some of my favorite baits here. Number one, we have the Acme Hyper Rattle in the brand new 1-inch size. Now the exciting part about this 1-inch size, and I've been begging for this one for years, I love fishing with no bait. If you are a panfish guy, a basin crappie guy, a perch guy, this 1-inch size Hyper Rattle is gonna be a monster on the ice. In fact, I am already envisioning like hardly fishing anything else when it comes to aggressive basin crappies. The bait's gonna get down super fast. And when I've seen this in the open, like when I've been testing it in the water, it glides just like all the other sizes of Hyper Rattle, which is always a difficult thing to do with smaller sized baits. So this 1-inch Hyper Rattle, gonna be an absolute monster. That's a solid choice. The Hyper Glide, another one of my favorite shallow water walleye glide baits. It's got the unique wings that open up. A very unique lure that I've caught a lot of fish on over the course of the last several ice seasons. A true, tried and true standby. Now, obviously there's a pile of baits in this box, and if you were to go out and buy all these separately, I think I tried to write it down here. It'd be $142, $145-ish dollars. And so we're basically giving you a 30% savings at $99 at a $100 ice bundle with everything, every bait you pretty much need to go catch fish on in this box. The Castmaster in the tungsten size. Now, this bait, can't say enough good things about this bait. If you do a lot of fishing, I find myself using this bait a lot when I'm fishing like those 25, 26 foot rock flats or mud flats in the winter. And I want a compact presentation for finicky fish. This bait falls like an absolute rocket. You can fish it faster, you get down to fish faster, and it takes all those coils out of your line for fishing a compact size spoon. Absolutely love the tungsten Castmaster. If you guys watch my channel, I don't have to give that bait any more praise because you guys know how much I love it. Phenomenal walleye bait. And then my favorite size, Hyper Rattle through the ice. This one weighs, I don't even know, I just know by looking at them. It's the 1.5 inch. Now this bait, much like the smaller one, which is new for this year, this size has been around for a while. This one is a killer for aggressive walleye fishing. I bring these with everywhere I go on the ice for walleyes. And those four baits, monsters. One of my favorite ones, early ice, the Hyper Hammer. You guys have seen a lot of footage of me catching fish on, and you guys get the deal here. I wanted to put all the baits that I like fishing for the ice fishing, or for, you know, for that ice fishing period for walleyes and crappies and everything like that, into this box. Hyper Hammer, unique style of glide bait, also don't need bait on there. Fits right into my favorite style of fishing, which is fast and aggressive style of fishing. We actually have a couple of those in there in a couple different colors. Very good bait. I fish this one a lot early ice when I'm fishing like that 8 to 15 foot zone, and I'll keep the bait like halfway down and fish it really aggressive. As one guy, I think we all could do a better job of walleye fishing, is being more aggressive higher off bottom. It's a lot of times amazing how many times you'll fish a bait like this, like close to the bottom with that classic walleye cadence when you're going like this. You know, you think slow and subtle winter walleyes, and then maybe you're catching a few fish, and then you bring your bait up 5 feet, so you're 5 feet down in 10 feet of water, start ripping it around, and fish are like vapor trailing way up to it and biting. The Hyper Hammer is a great bait for fishing that way for sure. Now, we also have replacement tails for the Hyper Hammers, which is always good to have. If you want to mix up colors, they have little glow tips on them as well. Kind of a cool deal there. Another tungsten Castmaster. That, like I said, that's one of my favorite baits. A couple different rattle baits in here, which is always a good thing. Now, one of the baits which I am the most excited about for this winter, another one of those ones which I was begging to get made for years, is the 1/8 ounce Acme V-Rod. And it's like a sigh of relief saying this, because for the last couple of years, I love fishing blade baits to the ice. They're just like this untapped thing that I've had a lot of success on, catching aggressive walleyes to the ice. And you guys, just going through this amount of baits here, you guys can tell kind of how I like to fish. Fast, aggressive type of fishing. I use the 1/4 ounce a lot through the ice, but this 1/8 ouncer, it took some time to get it right from what I was told. And to get that same really good blade bait vibration on a jigging lure, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park on this one. This is the 1/8 ounce V-Rod, brand new this size for this year. It's gonna be a great big crappie bait, perch bait. Walleyes are absolutely gonna scarf this thing up with no bait on it. A very excited added addition to this lineup of lures for sure, in my opinion. So I'm super excited about that. Had to make sure we got some of those in there. We have a couple of the newer jackknives. These are a cool like live bait rigging thing if you're a dead stick guy with kind of a unique hook. I can kind of show you guys these real quick here. I briefly had a chance to play with one. But if you kind of a dead stick guy, all the weight you need to kind of hold the bait down there, and then that rotating hook like that with a side hook here to actually hook your minnow on. A couple of those for you dead stick guys. We have a smaller blade bait option, or a rattle bait option in here too, the Stub Z. It's a little rattle bait that kind of darts, glides, things of that nature. I love aggressive lures through the ice, if you guys can't tell. Another style of replacement tail for the Hyper Hammer, which is always good. And then we got a new ice winder here. This is a brand new lure for this year too. Wanted to make sure we got all the new stuff in here that I enjoy fishing. Now this bait is actually a rendition of an old bait that I loved. I absolutely loved. They used to be called the Sidewinder, which maybe some of you guys are like, man, I've fished the Sidewinder for years and love it. It's a flutter spoon, as you can see by the shape of that. It's a cupped flutter spoon. It's not like a super light tin spoon like a lot of your other flutter spoons that you drop it down in 20 feet of water and you drink a whole cup of coffee before it gets down to the bottom. This one actually falls relatively quick, but with that little hair tie on there, you're gonna be able to get it down there. It's got that classic flutter spoon action where you snap it, it turns sideways, and then does this on the way down. So it fishes super well for a lot of those bodies of water where fish can see, where you have like 3, 4, 5 feet visibility in a system, and you pop that thing up high and it does that big fluttering action and gets a lot of light and a lot of visual attraction versus just a lot of the standard spoons that just kind of do that up and down action. So the ice winder, wanted to make sure we got that in there. The reason I like that marabou tie on there is because it totally eliminates the need for live bait. So very excited about that option as well. A lot of stuff in this box. Now on the panfish or crappie side, well, actually I'm excited about this from a walleye perspective too. This is a cool one. This is the Hyper T, and I'll pull this out here. It's kind of a winged tungsten minnow bait, but also like a tungsten jig. Now this bait is pretty cool. You can see the wings on there. It's a tungsten jig, so it carries a lot of weight at a smaller size. And it's got that straight shank hook off the back, designed to be fished with plastics If you're a crappie guy or a bluegill guy, maybe a waxy. But you can take that tungsten jig and barely pop it, and it just kind of has that subtle kind of glidey action to it, which is a super cool addition for this year. Now, one thing I was concerned about when I first saw these was what if the fish inhale it like this and it blows their mouth out with these wings? And then I realized the wings are actually soft and foldable. So the fish, even if the fish eats the whole bait, those wings just collapse when you set the hook. So super excited about that. I wanted to get a pack of those in there. We have the Rattle Master, which is obviously just one of my standbys. You shouldn't go anywhere on the ice without an up and down rattling spoon like the Rattle Master right there. A lot of stuff in this box. Another rattle bait right there. Now we get to kind of the cool part, which was one of the funner things to do. We have got you guys a flambeau case to put all the baits in here with the dividers and everything like that, with the Walleye Now logo on there, Fish USA, and the Acme logo in here. So this box literally has everything you need for $100. You get an absolute pile of baits, way over the value of what you're paying for this thing. Load them up in the box, get to the lake. We also want to include Walleye Now sticker in there for you guys, Fish USA sticker in there for you guys. It's all white on white right now, so once you put it on something, you'll see it. And then one thing that we actually really wanted to do, and we were super excited to kind of contribute to this awesome package, which was free month of Walleye Now. We're constantly adding stuff to this, and it's been a super fun project. We get, a ton of messages from you guys saying, man, we absolutely love the Walleye Now. We made a bunch of awesome kind of exciting changes to it, podcast, everything like that. But to get on this trial, if you already have it, you can use it to redeem a free month for yourself. If you want to try it, we have free codes on here, everything like that. If you want to give it to a buddy, give it to a buddy. Let him try the app, whatever it might be. But we want to include even more value in the box. We want to include the free trial or free month of Walleye Now. And it's super easy, actually, to get on here and use this. So there's actually directions right on the back if you flip it over too when you get your box. And if you're, most guys are Apple guys, the process is really the same. The verbiage is just different. So all you have to do, how to redeem your promo code for your, let's say you iPhone guys, open your app store, find the app store icon on your home screen. Step 2, tap on your profile. Step 3, tap on redeem, gift card, or code. And then you simply enter your code, which there's one on each for Apple and Android. So if you're an Apple user, obviously use your Apple one. If you're an Android user, obviously use your Android one. Once you enter that code, you'll just hit redeem at the bottom. And then you can obviously get on the Walleye Now app and get the podcast, get all the high detailed informative videos for whether you're an ice guy or an open water guy or maybe both. Constantly adding stuff on there, and it's been a super cool project. So that's kind of what I was most excited about talking to you guys. Obviously, this will be linked down below. It's kind of a box full of absolutely everything you need to get on the ice and catch fish. Bring your rods, bring the box, drill some holes, and catch some fish. Whether it's panfish, crappies, bluegills, walleyes, whatever it might be. We got everything in there. Look at this. There's even another one in there. We didn't even go through all the baits. Another ice winder in there. So obviously it's a phenomenal deal for yourself. It's $100. Like I said, valued it. I wrote it down somewhere because I thought it was so ridiculous. $142 or $145, something right in there. And depending on where you're buying from, I guess. It's phenomenal value, and pretty much all the stuff in which you guys know I like to fish, but you guys probably like to fish a lot of these baits, and some exciting new stuff to try in there as well. So that's kind of that. Link down below. Great gift for your favorite ice fisherman. Great gift to yourself if you're that kind of guy, which I am. I'm always trying to give myself as many gifts as I can justify. But that's kind of our Fish USA ice bundle. Link down below in the description. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Wanted to cram absolutely as much value in there as possible and put a lot of the baits in there that I like using. So that is that. The only thing I wish I could give to you guys is cold weather. We do have some coming, but it's not as cold as the normal year right now. But be assured, soon we will be on ice. In the next video you see, hopefully I will have a tight line through an ice hole. So appreciate you guys watching this one. Always enjoy kind of doing these preseason breakdowns on maybe gear or things of that nature. Drop some comments down below on where you guys are excited to get on some first ice. Drop some comments down below on where you guys want to see me doing some first ice fishing. So I'm excited to kind of get the season rolling and do a lot of exciting stuff this season on the ice. Excited to mix it up and throw a little bit of twist in a lot of the content you guys are kind of used to me filming, and mix it up a little bit. But appreciate you guys watching this one. Have a great Thanksgiving. If you guys are interested in the Fish USA box, it'll be linked down below in the description. Jump over there. There is a limited supply, so scoop them up while you can. and hopefully you guys have a great season on the ice. We'll see you guys on the next video, I guess. Happy Thanksgiving.